morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How are you today? I hope you're all healthy and happy and well and the whole shebang. Okay, so today I just wanted to make a very short tutorial. I know that every time I say I'm gonna make a short tutorial, it just turns like a, like if you want to mass. But honestly, I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible before I start teaching. Okay, now, title of this tutorial: round or roundness of the voice. Okay, this goes both for male and female voices, uh, male voices, tenors, baritones, basses, I don't know, octavists, basso profondi, and all the categories in between. And for women, of course, sopranos, mezzos, altos, and whatnot. Now, uh, this is more orientated towards classical singing. Okay. Now, one of the enemies, and number one enemies actually of, I would say, old school operatic singing is what in Italian is defined as spalancare la voce, which basically means to spread. And I know that nowadays it's very fashionable, because we have all this, obsession with, mask singing and all of a sudden all the teachers um, start talking about pure vowels and and eyes and and well, guys, I don't know, but the golden age of operatic singing, unfortunately, is not nowadays. And one wants to ask him or herself why. So I think the last reference to this kind of sound was by Pavarotti, and actually I remember talking to Maestro Fulvio Massa, with whom, hey, check it out, spoiler alert, soon we will start a series of podcasts about vocal technique and many other aspects. But anyway, I'll get back to that some other time. And we basically came to the conclusion that the last singer to actually respect more or less the classic or the classical canons of the old school of singing was Luciano Pavarotti. Why? Because he was Arrigo Pola's student, and although his voice was quite, I would say, open and bright, it was noble. He referred this as a noble sound. Okay, so yeah, this is very important. This is really important, to have a noble sound. And what does a noble sound mean, right? What is a noble sound? If you listen to recordings, obviously the quality is bad, and you could say, oh no, it's because it's distorted because of the gramophones and all that. Recordings of the early 20th century, and I'm talking about Caruso. I'm talking about I don't know, 1920s, 1930s, Pertile, Martinelli, I would say Gigli, so on and so forth. The Tagliavini, Schipa. Then in terms of baritones, Tita Ruffo, for example. Then sopranos, Tetrazzini, Barbieri, Carla's was a bit of her own, but we also hear that sound, this noble sound. What does this noble sound mean? Basically, operatic singing requires recruiting as many resonances as you can. Okay, and I'm talking resonances. I'm not talking about registers. I'm not talking about placements. I'm talking about resonances. So what happened? What happened with why now this obsession about twang that has nothing to do with squillo, that is the old school. Why? Because squillo is a pharyngeal resonance, and twang is basically very limited to I don't know, I would say 4 or 5 points, right? So I was saying it's limited to just the 4 points, and actually, like Corelli, Franco Corelli used to say, la maschera chiude la gola. It's gonna cost a lot of constriction, unless you're doing. You're using that mechanism as a secondary sort of resonance. So now, how do we how do we achieve that? I mean, just think about Caruso. Who hasn't heard Caruso and that massive sort of very round actually sound. Well, that's what we have to do. That's exactly what we have to do. So, in order to round the sound, regardless what if you're male, female, and the fach, right? It's a question of space down and space up. And when I say up, I mean here. Yeah, right here. Remember that video I made about vowels, that I have, right here. So why right here? Because basically this is the top of your pharynx, and now the soft palate is gonna be a major I could say a major mechanism in actually making that round sound. Why? Because otherwise the sound is spread, right? So compare, for example, this scale, right? Very simple scale, right? And I'm gonna sing it open, and I just go like la, right? That sound is not elegant, is edgy, right? Yeah, it is resonant because I'm using my pharynx. Many people would say, you're singing in your throat and whatever. Obviously, because the sound is born in the throat. So the only thing you're gonna achieve by doing this is perhaps strengthening your voice. But when you want to sing, you don't want to do this sound because it's not elegant, it's not noble. So what do we do? This. La. See, space down. La. And now space up. La. And then we just keep it there. La. Ah. Yeah? So it's like two forces that pull. One pulls down, right? So the larynx tilts or lowers, I don't care. And then we have like a dome right here. Okay, so that's from bottom C to middle C. La. I'm already deep. La. And I start rounding the sound, right? So I'm going from an ah towards an o, and eventually I will go towards an oo. But mind you, this is gonna go automatically, right? So la, see, oh, and that's an oh with shades of ooh, and I'm not closing down. And if you see, my larynx is tilting, so my Adam's apple is actually lowering. Okay? Now, what happens when we go to, for example, F, you know, and the whole passaggio business and stuff for tenors and things like that? Same thing. La, la. But I'm gonna go deeper, and I'm gonna stretch even more there, right? So, la, yeah? So, that's the note before. So I have my ah, but it's not actually an ah, it's an ah, 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 ah. And that's not ingolato, that's not like you know, how can I say this? You know, like I'm constricting. It's actually quite free, okay? So, you know, exercises to do that. Of course, glottal strokes, they will set everything in motion, but at some point, especially, you know, for example, if you're a tenor, you're gonna have to basically start rounding the sound around B, C, you know, I'm talking middle C, right? Because otherwise you're gonna find this, right? You go la, la. That's a shallow sound. And then the minute you want to start to go higher, boy, oh boy, yeah, things are not gonna connect, right? Of course, if you're a baritone, I would say that would start basically 1.5 tones, 2 tones lower, right? And then what happens when we go above that area? Now, of course, I should make a video for women, because, you know, women is like, you know, woo, yin and yang, and then we have to turn everything around. But the minute, just imagine if I have to sing a G, right? La, 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 oh, I'm already round, oh, and then, oh, so it helps an awful lot. But if I go la, upa, yeah, immediately the arytenoids are gonna go bam, and they're gonna make my sound a bit more either aggressive, or I'm gonna be constricted. Now, with women, it's ever slightly, you know, it's different, because as I always say, the you know, the female voice is strong actually in what we call head voice, and the male voice is strong in what we call chest voice. So women are gonna find that in you know, depending if you're a mezzo or a soprano, but there's not much difference, that from B to basically E flat E, it's gonna be hard to keep the chest voice, actually, that which basically means full mass and full adduction of the chords. But again, you're gonna benefit a lot from rounding the sound and taking it, you know, like inside and down, and then activating this, right? So in a woman, basically, it's like when men have to cover, and I would say, you know, I'm gonna sing going to a B flat. That would be the first sort of note in which the woman has to be in chest, and it's not gonna sound like this, but we want to recreate this sound. So it's this. So again, we stretch here, and we pull down. No, it's allow the larynx to go forwards and downwards, and then you have it, right? So there's the difference of, you know, if I start amor ti vieta, shallow, amor ti vieta, di no, that's it. I'm right there. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to do anything. Okay? All right, so this was basically the tutorial I wanted to make. Very quick, right? And actually, this is gonna benefit also your low register, because you know, la la la. So that's basically a C, what? So it's C3, C2, C1, and yes, I'm a tenor. So by keeping that round sort of idea, you're gonna enlarge your vocal track, and it's gonna be easier. It's gonna be much more beautiful, and that's the sound that you know of the old days. Just try it out, and then combine it, because it's chiaroscuro. Sometimes you're gonna have to have a more open sound, and sometimes you're gonna have to pull a darker sound. Okay, and the best example I have for this is Celeste Aida, right? Celeste Aida. That's an open sound, but because it's deep, it doesn't sound screamy. But some other, some singers might have to do Celeste Aida. See? Okay? So, also a very good way to practice this is actually something very primal that I always recommend my students. That is to go like this. Like if you're calling a sheep, you're a shepherd. You go like, ah, 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 ah. Doesn't matter the pitch. Just ignore the pitch. Okay? Ah, 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 ah. So it's down and out and round here. Okay? And that way, honestly, that's it, and that's your A flat. Okay, all right. Well, I hope this was helpful, and if it wasn't, sorry. Just drop me an email or something, and I'll try to, fix something. All right. Have a great day, and here I am, again, if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe, blah, 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 whatever. But, yeah, anything you need, just contact me, okay? Have a nice day. Bye-bye.